Web3 Social House. This is a chill space for builders during our East Denver events co-hosted by Mass Network, NextID, Collab.Land, and Chainbase. So we're really glad that you guys are here. My name is Hannah. I'm the head of global growth at Mass Network and co-founder of NextID. So today, for our opening panel, we're very happy to have Push Protocol, Harsh from Push Protocol. Maybe sit. And Julie from Collab.Land, and our own Afra from Firefly with us. And you may wonder what we want to talk about. And then the topic here today, since a lot of the one shared commonality that we have with a lot of projects here is like these are social projects, they're like non-financially driven. So, and then the mission is to increase connectivity and a lot of the onboard more users to Web3. So, without further ado, I would want them to like introduce themselves and a little bit more about their projects, and we can dive into the questions.
Hello everyone, this is Afra. I represent a new app called the Firefly app, which is built with Mass Network and now is available on App Store. So a little bit about this app is, it is a social aggregator for Twitter, for Farcaster, as well as Less Protocol. In the future, we might, introducing more decentralized social networks into Firefly, and now it's on this invitation base. So join the Telegram group, and I will send some very valuable invitation codes in the group, so you can test out what we're building and where we're experimenting. And again, my name is Afra, and I'm one of the organizers of the event. I'm really happy to see everyone here this morning to enjoy this chill weather as well as coffee. Welcome.
That was awesome. GM everyone. I'm Harsh, founder and project lead of Push Protocol. Push Protocol essentially enables wallets to finally communicate with each other, either via on-chain or off-chain notifications, or via chat as well. We just announced Push Chat and Group Chat. So for the first time now, Web3 wallets can create group chat, can do DAOs, incentivized, non-incentivized, token-gated, message-gated, whatever you want. Because we started with push notifications back in 2020, so now Push Chat supports the same interface as you use in your Web2 apps, which is whenever you're sending a whenever you're sending a message, you're also sending a notification to the wallet, therefore opening up the engagement possibilities. And yeah, from then to now, Push, I guess, has empowered more than 30 million notifications on Ethereum, Polygon, and Binance, with all of the Web3 support to come later on. We work with around 150 plus partners. We are powering notifications and chat for them, including Lens, Uniswap, DYDX, Aave, Gitcoin, Polygon, and a lot of cool projects. Excited to meet you.
Hi, I'm Anjali Young. I am the co-founder and CCO for Abridged. We are the creators of Collab.Land. What's there to say about Collab.Land? We started in May of 2020. We support 23 blockchains and over 25 wallets. We move Web3 functionality to Web2 platforms. So we started with Telegram, moved to Discord. We'll be launching on Reddit later this month. Collab.Land's big notable announcement, I guess, over the last week is we launched our token, which was last Thursday, the Collab token, and we are launching the marketplace. So the token and the marketplace, and actually a Colorado co-op, which we're going to have a lot of panels on this week if you're coming to the main conference, is the Collab.Land co-op, and together we're going to be working with the participants of our social network in order to determine the future of what the social network is going to be. What we're trying to do is undo some of the damage of Web 2 and have an actual social web platform and go to different places where social and crypto and tokenized communities gather and have the incentives aligned with the members and the leaders of the project. So I'm excited to be here with Hannah and Afra. We've been working on putting this together over the last few months. It's been a total delight getting to know both of you ladies, and it's just really great to be here. So thank you everyone for coming all the way out to downtown. I appreciate it.
I think maybe you guys can keep one mic. I'll keep one. Yeah, well, welcome again, and also really glad that congratulations on launching the public launch of Push Chat, and a huge congrats on launching the Clap token. And we're so excited to also learn more about the marketplace. And I think Firefly, this is the first also like a debut of public testing for during December. So I think that's another thing the three speakers really shared in common. So I guess to kick us off for the first discussion of this two-day program on Web3 Social as a concept, because there are a lot of degens in this space, a lot of people are attracting to this space because of crypto and financial incentives, and us builders in the space for more of a social use cases. I want to understand do you think the Web3 social network thesis is valid? Why? And then how do we think of the competitive advantage of Web3 social products compared to Web2? You're the common ones, and then you're the also specifically to your product, but what's the specific angle that you choose?
What group do you want to speak?
Actually, go ahead.
Yeah, happy to start. Gosh, there were a lot of questions in there, so I'm not really sure which one to take on, but I guess the thesis of Web3 social, of course. Right now, we've been beholden to the platforms that we're on. If you are on Facebook and you're an influencer on Facebook, if there's such a thing, then you're limited to that platform. If you're an Instagram influencer, you're limited to that platform. I mean, really, Twitch, TikTok, whatever. The platform owns your data, the platform owns your network. So tokens break free of that. You can take your token holders with you anywhere you want and have direct relationships with them. I mean, the fact is that we've been beholden and had this extractive practices for this long, which is that platforms get to decide how much money we make, what percentage we get. We're limited to what their algorithms are. With a token, like I said, you are a portable community. You are the lead of your own crypto community. That kind of unleash or unlock for creators and brands we just haven't seen before. So am I bullish on Web3 social? Absolutely. This is the next wave.
Awesome. So if you're talking about Web3 social, we can put it in a very simple example. Whenever we are interacting in a physical world, we have the same set of friends. And it doesn't mean that if we switch cities, that those friends will go away, which is what Web2 social does. If you're on Facebook and you are there for 10 years, you have your social value. You might have 1 million followers. But when you go to Twitter, Twitter says, no, I cannot trust Facebook. There is no way I know that you have 1 million followers. So you have to start over again. And think about it, if you really feel in the real world life, the thing is really broken, right? Because when you go to your friends, I mean, you grow your friend circle over time. It's not like that you go to a city or a different hotel and now you don't have friends. And this is what Web3 social does. Web3 social basically says that your friends, your social value is tied to you, and you can go anywhere and you can carry that out. That alone is very, very powerful, and that alone is a big feature step over Web2 social. Add to it the data economy, because Web3 doesn't care about companies, they care about people, they care about eliminating middlewares, making sure that you are working and whatever you are getting, you actually get. There's no company that takes it. So add to Web3 social like this social value plus incentivized data economy, and all of a sudden you have a far superior social model. And that's what Web3 social does, and that's why I'm bullish on it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the premise of Firefly, there are two. One is social graph or social relation is really fundamental to us. So I came to Denver by driving from California. When we were passing Mountain Sierra, we were trapped in snow. And together with me, our new friends and old, going through this giant winter storm, and after survived that, we're like, okay, we're now best friends. Let's add each other on Twitter. Let's follow each other on Twitter. And then I don't want to lose that. I want to like in 10 years from now, I still have that connection with the person online. Because this is how I feel like I'm seen by this person, or he can be seen, or she can be seen by me. I don't want to lose that social graph. It's not just data stored on Twitter. Is this me? This is what defines me, right? I want this to be portable, to be my assets, to feel safe like something, something that I own. And I think Web Social enables that. This is the first premise. The second premise is it's going to take us a long way to get there. So Firefly comes in as a medium, this like transitioning period where we link Twitter social graph together with Lens protocol, with Farcaster. Maybe like in the future we're going to introduce more protocols in, so we can sort of like vampire attacking Twitter social graph, or like just take it back, because that's our things, right? So this is why Firefly comes in to serve as an aggregator for now, with some centralized social networks and with some decentralized social networks. So you can put them together. You can not only check someone, your best friend's Twitter profile, but also you can follow someone on Lens through Firefly. And this is the goal we want to achieve. And yeah, I think Firefly's eventual goal is to onboard more and more users to Web3, to have people really own their social assets, really own their social capital, really own their friendship online. And Firefly is like trying to serve as this like medium transitional period.
That just reminds me, Afra, like I have a POAP here. Like if you find me, I don't know if you'll be able to find me after this, but I have a POAP and it says you met Anjali in 2023. And I have been giving it out to people when I remember to do it. So people who I meet now have this POAP, and I can create a token gated access channel with my POAP. If you think about it that way, it's anybody. It's anybody who wants to have a relationship with anybody else. Like Afra mentioned, like she was in this horrible experience. I'm sorry, I live here in Denver. Been there, done that, and it's awful and traumatizing. With a group of people, like they could have whipped up a POAP for that. I survived Road to East Denver Nightmare Hellscape 2023. And then they could have had a POAP, and they can have that relationship on chain forever. And they can take their token and go to any new platform and create a community there or create a chat there. And so that's just an example of how powerful this really is. Like, we're taking away the power from the platforms and we're giving it back to ourselves. And I just wanted to point this POAP out as just an opportunity to like share. Like, you don't have to be, it could be any of us, anybody. Like, this is for you. Social tokens are for you. This is a social token, my POAP. Tokenized communities are for you. They're for every single person in this room. It's not for some other outside group that comes in with a lot of money. Like we talk about free products. Collab.Land is a free product. POAP is a free product. You can start yourself, any community you want, with people having a relationship to you. And that, I think, is just a huge unlock. And so wanted to point that out.
Yeah, and it's protected by cryptography. And I want to shout out to a lot of hardcore builders who believe in cryptography in math team, and this relation is protected by math and mathematics. It's protected by the universe.
That's right, and it's immutable, and everybody can see it. Like, this is a global coordination tool. We talk a lot about what's the purpose of the token. A token is a global coordination tool on the same level of time and travel and telephones and languages. This is a global communication tool and a global coordination tool that we just haven't seen since the internet, really, when you think about it. And so this is just a great opportunity for all of you to get involved and get activated in social crypto too.
I think that's perfectly put.
Definitely, I think that's very well said. And then, yeah, I think through hardships like road trip, that definitely comes with a lot of bonding. I think one the biggest takeaway I have from what you guys were sharing is like the concept of like social capital, and like how like each of us can own and like have this like verifiable like proof of our social capital, and be able to like almost like decentralize a lot of these like kind of power from platforms to individuals, and then have these social capital be able to distribute peer-to-peer. That's a very powerful thing that we're experimenting now through different projects and platforms. And number two, like through technology, this is how we're seeing like really like a global like resolution system on the blockchain can be able to really help with like verifying, like building out these like permanent like immutable memories of ours. So it like really takes technology into the next level of being like really warm and social and have that kind of human layer to it.
I feel awful because I have to leave say about every single one of these subjects, so I want to make sure I
Go ahead, like, I mean.
No, but I mean, if we think about what the purpose of blockchain is and what the true unlock of blockchain is, it has so many, but one of them is the removal of gatekeepers. So, Hannah, if I wanted to hire you before, I would have to talk to your boss. Like, I'd have to know what is Hannah done, and is she a good worker, and what has she accomplished, and is everything on her resume true or untrue? Like, I would be limited to how your relationship was with your current employer. And with verifiable credentials, with decentralized ID, when we start getting verified credentials for what we've done, like, it removes that gatekeeper. And honestly, when you think about like the oppression that we're coming from, race, country, language barriers, like there's so many barriers to how people can gain wealth and how they can go up and be more successful over time. And that's what we're trying to undo as well. I mean, not only does cryptography not judge whether or not you're a woman and whether or not in your country you're allowed to have access to money. Here in the United States, 50 years ago, women didn't have access to credit cards. And so it's like we come from this tradition, historical oppression that we're trying to break free of. But also on another level with verifiable credentials and reputations, like we're looking at the blockchain in order to determine whether you accomplish this, this, or this. And so we're removing those prejudices that are already existed in the real world. I mean, there's so many reasons to be bullish on this space, but I just really wanted to get into that a little bit.
Definitely, I think that segues very well into the next topic I want to focus on, which is like decentralized identity and credentials. Because one thing that I do want to highlight, like not everything needs to be on chain for it to be proven. There are like also off-chain credentials dated through cryptography that can be also like trusted, right? And then there will be so many panels on like ZK around Ether as well. So could you just like share a bit more like how you guys think about and incorporate like decentralized identifier and verifiable credentials in your own product?
Got it. So, I mean, DID is a very powerful concept because coming to Web3 Social, like as I said, it's a shared username, right? We can have multiple friends across all the platforms, and that's Web3 Social, that's what it enables. We also have to understand that with all the blockchains that are coming in, chances are that we will not be having a single wallet address as our identity. We can have multiple addresses on the same chain, and we can also be a multi-chain user, so we can have multiple addresses on multiple chains. But are we different as a user? No. Therefore, decentralized identity is a way to combine all of that. And that opens up a lot of interesting things. Once you combine all your activity on chain, it basically opens up a way to identify what you are as a person. Like if you have pull-ups from all the events, you can be identified as a person who's very enthusiastic about blockchain. If you have gone to a lot of hackathons, you can be identified as a tech developer. There's some more cool things that are happening, like GitHub, wherein if you're a GitHub open source contributor, you have the GitHub. Other than that, you can identify on-chain behaviors with DeFi, with Metaverse, with NFTs, whatever you have. And that opens up a very exciting possibility of what you can do as a person. You are not identified by your name, but you are identified as a pseudo-anonymous address. And DID is one way of doing that. Also, just to extend what Anna said, it's not about putting everything on blockchain. You can put proofs on blockchain, or you can put things on blockchain which are mathematically verifiable. See, blockchain started with a single fact that the content which belonged to the platforms were able to change that content, or platforms were able to censor that content. So blockchain in its simplicity is just two things. Making sure that the content is immutable, that means it cannot be changed by anyone, therefore you don't trust anyone, and making sure that the content is not censorable. That's why you have nodes which run various copies of those content, so that you can be sure that the content is definitely deliverable or available no matter where you go. And that's the power of blockchain, that's the power of Web3. Web3 is basically democratizing Web2. Whatever things Web2 did, they did it with a gatekeeper. Web3 basically said that we don't need gatekeeper, we can do maths and we can basically have the same sort of model that Web2 has, but with the incentivization for users built on top. Because users will run the software and therefore they should get the maximum incentives. So combining all those things, combining blockchain, combining tokens, combining DID, now you have a powerful way to represent you as a person and also to drive this economy further, wherein you will own the Netflix, you will own the Amazon, you will get paid for that, and you will basically be a part of that mathematical proof that will help make Web3 decentralized.
Yeah, I think Firefly is a very strong demonstrator of the project Hannah is leading, Max ID. I just remember like when I first just delved into this Twitter, Web3 Twitterverse, the first impression is, why am I getting so many notifications from Vitalik asking me to claim token and ask me to buy NFTs? Like, wow, I'm so special to Vitalik, thank you. One thing that NextID can help is really like strongly link Vitalik's real wallet address and Vitalik's other Web3 presence to Vitalik's Twitter account. That's how you can identify if this is a bot, if this is an impersonating account, if this is a fake account, right? And Firefly is a client to show this relation. So if you go to Vitalik's Firefly cross the ID page, there's literally a bar to sliding from Vitalik's Twitter timeline, and then the next tab will be Vitalik's Lens timeline. He posts a lot on Lens. And there's another tab on the Farcaster timeline, and he also posts a lot on Farcaster. So you know, dude is Vitalik. Vitalik's spending a lot of time on Farcaster. So you know, this is how you can like verify a real person cross different DIDs, cross different platforms, as well as you know, sort of helping yourself to show that you can basically identify or eradicate those bots problem. So NextID is helping that a lot, and Firefly is trying to you know to play a very smooth you know well-made mobile app to demonstrate this and to make user feel safe and make user feel this is a useful experience.
I mean that of course speaks to impersonation, which is rampant in Web3. All of you know, I don't know, as Collab.Land, we get impersonated a lot. Right now there are promoted tweets out there from fake Collab.Lands telling you to claim your token. And Twitter is just doing what it's doing, which is taking money from these companies that are putting fake Collab.Land claims. You've seen fake Blur claims, fake Doodles claims. I mean, really, you cannot trust promoted tweets on Twitter. And so that's why products like this that are really going to verifying if someone is impersonated or not, like, are so important all across the board. And that verifiable credentials and DIDs. Speaking quickly about verifiable credentials, we talked about how everything doesn't have to be online or on-chain. Of course, that's absolutely true. With verifiable credentials, you should have optionality to share and not share with whoever it is. Like if Hannah is coming to get a job from me, she should have the option of sharing her verifiable credentials with me. I can check if they're cryptographically sound. However, as far as like having them available for everybody to see, that's untrue. We still, like I said, we come from racism, we come from segregation, we come from misogyny. I mean, if I graduated from a women's college or I was born in 1964, I mean, there's going to be prejudice against me based on any number of things. Or maybe I'm a woman, or maybe I'm too old, or maybe I was born in one city or not another city. So it absolutely has to be optional for every single person. Like having everything on chain, we're looking at a dystopian future. That reminds me, and I mean, this is a little bit off topic, but wherever you're connecting your wallet, ask questions. How is your data being shared? There are data maps being created right now with social login, wallet address, email, address. I mean, this is happening. Whether we like it or not, it's happening. And so just wherever you're tying your social login, or anywhere where you're connecting your wallet address to your Twitter address, or you're connecting your wallet address to wherever, find out how that company is using your data. I will tell you for Collab.Land, from day one, the answer has been no, we do not share member data. There have been plenty of chains that won't work with us because they want us to give up that mapping between Discord and Telegram ID to wallet address. There are many projects that won't work with us because they want us to give up that information. There are wallets that won't work with us. I mean, we've taken a lot of shit for that, but that is fundamental belief that's held by Collab.Land. And so I encourage all of you, wherever you're connecting your wallet to anywhere, find out, take a minute to read what's going on, to see how your data is being shared and how it's being mapped and how it's being added to this giant map where everything is being tracked. And that's where verifiable credentials come in a little bit too.
Great, yeah, thank you so much. That's very well said, Angelina. I think also for Collab.Land, you guys have like 8.2 million wallets verified through your product. Like, with that, also comes great responsibility in terms of thinking about how these information are being shared.
Oh, sorry. Well, with that, I will say, when we made these decisions starting off, we're very, very lucky in that myself and my husband, we're co-founders. Our third co-founder is Raymond Fang, who's a CTO. He was our CTO, and all of Collab.Land runs on Loopback, which is an open source network that he's run for over 10 years. And so he's an open source maxi, and really that's how we're moving into this marketplace idea and the token idea, which is we're looking at a sustainable future for open source and for developers. But these strongly held beliefs have been with us from the beginning, when we had no followers, no connections, and we have just maintained them. And so really having this foundation, this strong ideals and vision and mission for your product, even before it's successful or not successful, I think is extremely important. And for us, it was privacy. And that we saw what could happen when information is taken and used against people. We see that in Web 2. And so we did not want to repeat that. And so I just hope everybody here, takes that message and moves forward, but also starts asking the hard questions, because there are a lot of products out there and a lot of projects out there that do share data. So just be careful and find out who they are.
Yeah.
Actually, I'll just add on to this because while Collab.Land is not sharing the data out and we are connecting with Discord and all, there is a problem with what's being said right now. The problem is that as users, we require everyone to basically read what Web3 does. And I don't buy into that, because when we are talking about 1 billion users, we are not talking about million devs. So we cannot ask our users to basically understand everything Web3. Users, they don't have time. They are just like devs, they have time, they like to enjoy tracking a person, so they like to read. So instead of putting the burden on the user, to go on every site and do everything, I think we need to come up with better ways by which the same thing can be done, because that's very important, but making sure that the user is not responsible for it. One of the ways to do that, and that's what we did with on-chain notification and on-chain chat, is just disconnecting what you have as wallet and disconnecting what you have as other form of socials, like Discord. Of course, that kind of works when you are going totally Web3, but what Collab.Land is doing is also very important. And for them, it's also very important to connect your wallet to Discord, because otherwise, how will you get those gated access? So I'm not saying that I'm not saying that it's wrong. I'm just saying that we as developers need to figure out ways by which users, they don't have to do everything. We can do it for them. This is how Web2 kind of got to that billion user mark.
One thing is, no one's going to do anything unless the consumer requires it and demands it. So it is the responsibility of everyone here to start asking those questions. Companies are going to get away with whatever they can get away with. They're going to bury anything into their terms of service. We specifically say it out loud, which is, we do not dox you, we do not give anybody the mapping. It's on our website. Every time I speak, I talk about it. But as far as putting the responsibility on the consumers, data is valuable. I will tell you, when we were thinking about raising in the past, it was like, what do people want? They want our data. It's valuable. However, is that what we're going to do? It's not what we're going to do, but it's what every other company is going to do, because it's too tempting. The fruit is too sweet. And so if it isn't for us demanding this, demanding that our data not be shared, no one is just going to say, oh no, we won't share it. Advertisers are all lurking in this space, and all they want is your user data. So you're right in that it shouldn't be the responsibility of the customer or the consumer to have to look through everything. However, it's okay to ask, how are you using my data? Put the pressure on them. And so let them answer you. If enough of us ask, when people ask me, I'm happy to share. And like I said, I get in front of it and I tell you all. And I encourage you to go out and ask the hard questions. So is it fair that you should have to do it? I mean, yes, because we're trying to forge a new world here, and we've all passively let these Web 2 platforms sell and use our data any way we wanted. I mean, they did it whatever they wanted. We didn't read anything. You know, it's a meme. You just skip to the end and you push OK to everything. Like, is there a responsibility here for everyone to start asking the hard questions? Yes, it is the responsibility. Because if we don't ask the hard questions, then everyone's just going to continue to use our data any which way we want.
I have so many follow-ups from what you guys just said. A lot of things to unwrap there. Yeah, I know. Oh my God. Yeah, sorry we started late. With DID, we have also dedicated like a DID panel later on, where I think we can delve into like how identity is being aggregated, identity graph are being created, and what are the information that are being shared out to the public, and how we can inform users what are the information to be shared. So there's definitely a lot of deep dives there for those that are interested in this topic. Yeah.
Sorry, I have to go because I have a town hall in our Discord server at noon, so if any of you want to join. One thing is we have a booth, and because I'm not going to be here to push later, we're having a booth, Collab.Land booth at main conference. Come over, say hi, we're all going to be there. I'll probably be there most of the time. We have 3 panels going on. I'm going to be on the main stage on Friday night. We're doing a panel about Colorado DAOs. And we also have, which is just kind of a fun, exciting thing, is we're having a movie screening. Collab.Land created a series of short films called Let's Form Group.xyz. The trailer is up already, Let's Form Group.xyz. And you can see the trailer for the Collab.Land short films. What we did is feature 7 different creators, different types of projects that use Collab.Land, and gave them an opportunity to share their culture, share what they're about, and just give Web3 Social a voice. All the messaging around crypto right now is very financialized, and there are real people here changing their real lives with crypto. And we're just really grateful and fortunate to be able to highlight them with these short films called Let's Form Group. So check them out. You know, if you're interested in Web3 Social, if you want to know what's really going on, you want to meet the people that are creating communities to lift this space up and change, you know, really affect change in what we're trying to build here. Like, you know, check it out. So that's going to be on the 4th at 2 p.m. There's going to be a screening at the ETH Denver conference, but you can go and check out the trailer right now. Okay, I have to go. I'm so sorry. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Angela. And yeah, she'll also be here. Cloud will be here for tomorrow, like tomorrow's session too. I'm excited for the documentary. We'll see you. Yeah. So we'll continue the discussion. I think one big thing, you were talking about is thinking about there are not billion devs out there, and then right now this is a pretty technical like conference. So how many of you guys are like developers out there? All right. With some folks in the back. Yeah. So I'm glad we're seeing more like just like enthusiasts coming here. But thinking about building like enabling more developers to build on top of like Push, for example, and then incentivize them to build the next DApp that would onboard like end users who probably don't have to memorize so many things and then like switch like 50 different like products. Like how do you incentivize them? Like what are the different trends that you're seeing building on top of Push?
Sure. This is really awesome question because Web3 should be based on game theory. That's how you make sure that everyone wins. For Push, what we do is, like developers, of course, we have grants for them. But more than that, because this is a Web3 native communication, it's a Web3 native notification right from your smart contract or from your app or from your backend. Or it's a Web3 native chat, which can be token gated, which can be NFT gated. So you can build out your own DAOs. So the way Push approaches this thing is that if you provide developers enough tools to build what they want to do, that's a win for them. So that way we don't have a ton of incentives. Apart from the incentive that if you come and build on top of Push, you will get your users to communicate and re-engage, which is how Web2 operates. Like Web2 operates solely on notifications. Like we don't go to Gmail, we don't go to Twitter, we don't go to Discord. what Discord does, what Twitter does, even what WhatsApp does or Amazon does. It sends us a notification at the right time. And through that, we operate on our day-to-day schedule. For example, most of you guys are here because probably you got a notification from Google Calendar to come over here. So, or from you. So yeah, that's what Web2 does really right. It basically re-engages users and provides them a value addition to their life so that they don't have to go away. And that's what Push is doing. So Push, of course, for developers, we are building all the tools. We are building it together with you guys. There's of course a grant in case you want a grant, in case you want to be exposed to our community. We have a $1 million grant and you can come and join. And for users, we know that they really want to be conveyed and they really want these notifications like near loan liquidation notifications or NFT outbid notifications, or even when we are talking Web3 Social, like comments, everything of Web3 Social operates on notification and of course on chat. So they really want that. So users and developers, that's how we make sure that they are incentivized, and there's a win-win thing. For wallets, crypto wallets, which is the next step for us, which is to make sure that this open network is adopted by the wallets as well, apart from the dApps that has already adopted. For them, we have something called fee pool, which basically means that in the future, the users will decide what part of the fee that the network earns goes toward wallets, because wallets will become the Web3 gatekeepers. So that's how we basically make sure that the team truly operates. And yeah, you guys can go ahead and read about it at docs.push.org. More than that, I would really recommend everyone to go to ntrust.me/play. There's a game theory game out there which basically makes you understand how a Web3 network should operate and what you need to do to make sure that you reach to that point where the Web3 network can operate.
Thank you so much, Harsh. Could you repeat the last game theory one second?
Yeah, it's ntrust, N-T-R-U-S-T.
Ntrust, yeah. Ntrust play.
Ntrust.me/play.
.me/play.
Just Google ntrust game theory, you'll get it.
Yeah, absolutely. Great. Yeah, thank you for sharing that. And I think definitely notification is something I've heard a lot of people complain about Web3, like for my paycheck and all that. Like, you have to go into your wallet and see, oh, is it there? It's not there. Switching from developers to end users, I'm curious to hear from Firefly and Push, when you're building the app, and also chat, what are some of the direct user insights that you've drawn? We've talked about onboarding users and all these benefits of Web3 Social, but still, there are a lot of strong
Which question? I want to do a quick demo.
Reason for
Alive?
to really
Yeah,
care
connect
about
network.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Web2 as an entire generation defines a lot of gold standards, such as we're used to get information from notifications. We sometimes use our lock screen as a little, browser to read news, right? I come from a strong Web2 background. I was working for a news company. My previous job was literally pushing the button to send notifications to 10 millions of people, and I still remember the highest open rate in the past 30 years was Kobe Bryant's helicopter crash. That was 11% of open rates, meaning out of the 10 million people, there are 1.1 million people open his particular notifications. I know, how useful, how convenient, how strong that is. And actually, Firefly's product logic also derived a lot from Web2. We're trying to get all the best from Web2. We're dogfooding everything that we do. We're trying to reduce the loading time. We spend a lot of time just to, fine-tune the profile, fine-tune the UI UX to make people think this Web2, this Web3 dApp actually feels like we're using a really smooth Web2 dApp. This is our goal. Our goal is really taking the best part of user experience part, of the user research part to Web3 and making it that as smooth as possible, as fast as possible. And we've been also spend a lot of time, just rebuilding the Twitter thread, because we basically want to replicate Twitter's user experience. So we spend a lot of time trying to, do the little things, try to improve on entry points to make people feel like using Firefly is actually, there's no friction. So we have a very strong product team and very strong, dev team trying to improve, basic, onboarding experience and basic user experience such and such, on top of, having this genuine belief on the future of Web3. So, for a 2C app, I think Firefly right now is like maybe 70% there, and we just launched on App Store. And as a lot of you are devs here, I'm so happy to see your user experience and user reaction with Firefly, and you can just throw out some feedbacks. We want to not only just test a concept, but also really get some feedback from tech savvy people like you, and then keep improving our product as we're soft launching it, unroll little by little.
Do you want to share more, like in terms of during the alpha testing phase of push chat and now the public test, what are the people that are coming in, like in terms of channels and chats? Like, how are you, what's the draw for that? Yeah.
Got it. So, push chat is basically built for the developers, but yeah, users can go to app.push.org and can go ahead and chat, can also go ahead and create a group and see it for themselves. But the idea was to create this very powerful and very Web3 strong SDK, wherein everything is mathematically secure. So you are not getting something which you have to rely on a centralized company. Everything is basically secured by maths, and you can go ahead and now add it into your DAO. So for example, if you have a DAO, you might have DAO tokens. What you can do is you can create a group chat wherein only the people that have your DAO tokens can come and join in. And now you have a way to have a community. You can make it public or private. Public will mean that other people will be able to know what DAO is talking about. Private will mean that they won't know. You can message gate it, which basically means that you are saying that, okay, you are a DAO member, but unless you have 100 tokens, we are not going to engage in a conversation because you don't have enough scalability. You can incentivize it. And you can do so many things with it. Like, this is just an example of DAO. You can build social apps around it. You can build an NFT marketplace that can negotiate things around it. And the idea is just that, like what Firefly is doing is amazing, because the idea is that a Web3 user and a Web2 user, as developers, we need to understand that a user is a user. They don't care what is happening in the background. Like, if I go on Google Meet right now, and I click on join a call, I don't care what is happening on WebRTC level. I don't care what's happening on different protocol levels. And the thing is that internet operates or video call operates on 5 protocols, even in Web2. So that's the thing. That's what we need to eliminate. That's what internet eliminated, and then we get the user. So Web3 needs to become that much transparent or invisible in terms of that. And I don't think a lot of companies or a lot of protocols have made significant traction in that. For example, Safe made lives of a lot of DAO members very easy because you have account abstracted wallets, and that means that you can essentially not rely on an EOA account, and your funds are very safe. Lens did it with meta transaction, where you don't have to go and post everything. That's posted out for you, and the gas piece is basically taken care of by Lens. All of these things, this is the reason why Lens have 100,000 users. This is the reason why Safe is probably the biggest player in the game when it comes to treasury. So these are the things that we need to keep on doing. And once we do it to perfection, we use this wallet. Like, just look at Uniswap. So one thing that we also need to do is we need to eliminate wallet walling, which means that if you come to a tab, the very first thing that you do is, as a user, you see a wallet and saying that this site may or may not be harmful to you, so please proceed accordingly. Now, as a user, this is very, very weird. It's a paradoxical thing because people are saying try Web3 and wallets are saying don't try Web3 unless you trust someone. What's a way to eliminate that and making sure that the user is secure? Make sure that you are doing everything Web3 native, so there is no username involved, you are not boxing. B, you can basically remove the wallet wall like how Uniswap does it. You can go over there, you can see how to convert or what to convert. Only when you require the action which requires connecting to your wallet is when you have that problem. And this is what Web2 companies do very well. Like you go to YouTube, you can watch hundreds of videos until you are uploading a video or until you want to sign in because you want to watch something or add to your playlist. Simply put, until it's in the interest of the user to do something, they will not have anything. And that's what we need in Web3. And that's what pushes with communication. And I think Firefly and all of us are doing with social.
Thank you, Harsh and Afra. That's very well put. I think just like I think a few days ago, David and my colleague and I were talking about the word DApp, and how it's like decentralized to a lot of people. It's like to end users may not be necessary, or like they don't need to think about whether it's centralized or decentralized. Like it's the responsibility of the builders to design the system to be user-centric, data privacy protected. But I think like we're just building apps. Like we're building protocols and apps that people can use that really increase the connectivity of Web3 Social. So thank you for a lot of the insights being shared today and kicking us off for a lot of discussions.
Yeah, just some last words, like a little bit promotional, but I'm really hoping my grandma can be a user of Firefly, so help us out. Join the Telegram group. I'll be sending some invitation codes in the group, so you guys can see what this mysterious app I'm talking about, what it looks like. But again, yeah, thank you so much everyone for listening to this panel. This is Firefly's debut. Sign off.
Thank you so much for topics on security, decentralized identity. We have 2 days of we're really proud to put together a lot of great in-depth conversations. So stick around, enjoy snacks. We'll have DIP panels and security panel this afternoon. So yeah, I'll see you around. Thank you so much.